This video presents the political and war events in ancient Greece from the first invasion of the Persian Empire and the Battle of Marathon in 490 BC, to the beginning of the legendary campaign of Alexander the Great, which created one of the biggest empires of human history. In that period of about 150 years, the Greeks united to face the common enemy in the Persian Wars, and then divided and fought with each other in one of the greatest wars of the ancient world, the Peloponnesian War. The devastating confrontation between Athens and Sparta destroyed both adversaries, and had a consequence neither had imagined: the rise of a new military force from the north, the Kingdom of Macedonia. In 490 BC, the Persians, under the command of the generals Datis and Artaphernes, invaded Greece. But what caused this invasion? It was just Persia's expansive policy, or something else? The answer lies in a series of events that occurred almost 10 years before. In 499 BC, the Greek city-states of Ionia rebelled against Persia and King Darius. Most of these cities were colonies of Athens and Eretria. So the two cities sent aid to the rebels. This made Darius, king of Persia, furious. When he crushed the rebellion, he began plans to conquer Greece. In 490 BC, the Persian forces initially sacked the islands of Cyclades. In midsummer, they sacked and burned Eretria. Their next stop was Attica and Athens. Their forces landed in the bay near the town of Marathon. Here, the Athenian army, aided by a small force from Plataea, prevailed the Persians. The star of the Athenian general Miltiades shone on the battlefield with his genius military approach, and the Athenians won a crucial victory. This victory proved to the Greeks that the Persians could be beaten and that they were able to win battles without the Spartans, who in the meantime had refused to aid the Athenians. The Battle of Thermopylae and the naval battle of Artemisium. In 480 BC, the Persians, under the rule of the god-king Xerxes, invaded Greece for the second time. The Greeks, after a council that took place in Corinth, decided to face the Persian forces in land and sea. The army of the Persians was massive and, according to ancient sources, was numbered between 200,000 to 1,500,000 men. The Greeks sent a much smaller force of 7,000 men led by 300 Spartans to the 12 meters wide pass of Thermopylae. By the sea they sent a naval force at the coasts of Evia, a territory called Artemisium, to face the Persian navy. Both battles were lost due to the large numbers of the Persian forces. After the defeat of the Greek forces, the Athenians, under the guidance of Themistocles, had fled to the island of Salamis. On that island, the Greeks gathered 300 ships to make their final stand against Persia. In the meantime, the Persians burned Athens and sent their fleet to Salamis to face the remaining Greek forces. The unexpected victory of the Greek navy, due to the speed and maneuverability of the Greek warships, the triremes, resulted in the capture of most of the Persian ships. The Persian fleet was destroyed and retired back to Asia Minor. 479 BC, the Battle of Plataea. Xerxes, after the Battle of Salamis, left his general Mardonius with a large force to finish with the Greeks. The decisive victory in Salamis prevented the conquest of Peloponnesus and made the Greek city-states unite and join their forces. Athens, Sparta, Corinth, and Megara are all together to face the common enemy. In the summer of 479 BC, the Greeks assembled a huge army and marched to Plataea. In this battle, Mardonius was killed and the second and final attempt of the Persian Empire to conquer Greece had ended. The Persian Empire, after this unsuccessful second campaign, began to decline due to the depletion of the royal treasury from Xerxes. 478 BC, the Athenian alliance. In 478 BC, the Athenian general Aristides established an alliance consisting of the coastal city-states of Greece, Aegean Islands, and coastal city-states of Asia Minor and Marmara. The city-states of the alliance retained their independence and each had one vote in conferences that were held on the island of Delos. The island of Delos, next to Mykonos, near the center of the Cyclades, is one of the most important mythological, historical and archaeological sites in Greece. The star of the Athenian general Cimon, son of Miltiades, shone in the martial successes against the Persians, and with the liberation of the occupied Greek city-states of Asia Minor, the trade routes of the Aegean and the Mediterranean Sea were again available. The Golden Age of Pericles. In 449 BC, under the leadership of Pericles, Athens signed the peace treaty of Callias with the Persians and ended hostilities with Sparta. Callias was the Athenian statesman in charge of the negotiations. During the Pericles period, along with the growth of Athens, the role of the city was strengthened and the alliance was transformed into an Athenian hegemony. At the peak of its power, the alliance was dominant throughout the Aegean. Soon a huge amount of wealth accumulated and Pericles used these abundant resources and began the construction of the Athenian monuments. 431 BC, the Peloponnesian War. During the glorious path of Athens, the city was in constant confrontation with the rival city-state in Greece, Sparta. In 431 BC, one of the fiercest wars between the Greeks, known as the Peloponnesian War, broke out. The two rivals, Athens and Sparta, were the most powerful city-states in ancient Greece at the time. This war shifted power from Athens to Sparta, making Sparta the most powerful city-state in Greece. The war lasted in total 27 years and featured two periods of combat separated by a 6-year truce, Peace of Nicaeas. The Peloponnesian War. Athens and Sparta were in constant conflict for decades. In 449 BC, Athens had signed the Treaty of Callias and had ended hostilities with Sparta. But one of Sparta's allies, Corinth, had directly engaged the Athenian army. As a Spartan ally, Corinth resumed hostilities toward Athens when Athens threatened Corinth's interests in the region surrounding Corcyra. This eventually drew Sparta into the conflict. The Spartan army began by raiding lands in Attica. The Athenians had built walls stretching from their seaport to the city of Athens. The walls helped protect Athens from direct assault, and Pericles urged Athens not to engage in direct land battles with the Spartans. Instead, the Athenians used their navy to deliver troops into the Spartan territory who conduct raids on settlements. After years of open warfare, Sparta offered peace and Athens accepted. The agreement was made official with the signing of the Peace of Nicaeas. The treaty stated that Athens and Sparta would defend each other for the next 50 years. However, the treaty only lasted 6. Hostilities resumed with an assault launched by the Athenians at Sicily. Sparta decided to retaliate. Learning from its past experiences with the Athenian navy, they established a fleet of warships. It would be another decade of warfare before the Spartan general Lysander defeated the Athenian fleet at Aegospotami. 404 BC, the domination of Sparta. The defeat of the Athenians in the Battle of Aegospotami led to the surrender of the Athenians. The Peloponnesian War concluded with the Pyrrhic victory of Sparta. Pyrrhic victory is a victory that comes at the expense of great losses or costs. It literally means that the victor had to go through fire to succeed in his victory. However, the domination of Sparta will not last for long. Soon a new military force will prevail in Greece. 338 BC, the Battle of Chaeronea. Macedonia and Philip II dominated Greece with their victory over the Athenians and their allies in Chaeronea. The victory of the Macedonians signified the beginning of their rule and interference in the political affairs of southern Greece. 334 BC, Alexander the Great. In 336 BC, Philip II was assassinated by his bodyguard Pausanias and was succeeded by his son and student of Aristotle, Alexander the Great. In 334 BC, the Greeks under this charismatic general took full advantage of the Macedonian phalanx and began their legendary campaign. By the age of 30, Alexander had created one of the largest empires in history, stretching from Greece to northwestern India. He was undefeated in battle and is widely considered to be one of history's greatest and most successful military commanders. Alexander founded more than 20 cities, most notably Alexandria in Egypt. The spread of Greek culture through Alexander's Greek colonies formed the Hellenistic period, which developed through the Roman Empire into modern Western culture. If you want to extend your research, have a look to the description of the video for more links and sources. Did you like this video? Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to support our channel.